Go for it. Hello and welcome to another podcast live stream of the Kennel podcast. It's good to have you all back. I know it's not the result we wanted to get last week, gents, but you know, life goes on, as they say. We'll get more into it. I've got a guest on today. Elmo's actually gone on a sojourn to the US of A. He's living it up in New York. He wanted to experience a bit of the New York Yankees, sort of the New York Knicks culture, get stuck into some of those famous New York hot dogs, maybe some of their famous donuts around there. But slightly introduce you to my co-host today from the block and former first grader, Omar Sleimankhiel. Great to have you online, mate.
Thanks for having me again, Devo. It's been a while. It's been a fair few rounds between drinks.
Yeah, mate. What happened? You deserted us after last year. So
was it last year?
Yeah, it was last year. I don't think you've come on at all this year.
Well, you know what happened. Elmo said he was going to give up the podcast if the Roosters beat the Dogs, and they did.
So, and then he didn't, and it turned you off, eh?
Yeah. And now he's in New York. Come back. Thanks, Elmo.
All right. Gents, today, feel free to fire away a lot of questions.
Yeah, 100%.
Jamie, glad to have you on. Starquin, I know you're watching from South Africa, brother, so always a pleasure to have you on. Just first before we get stuck in, I just want to mention our great sponsors from the Latitude Accountants. John, appreciate you coming on board. For those that know Latitude Accountants, it's the small business accountants who just get tradies. Whether you're a sole trader or running and growing a business, Latitude has got your accounting needs covered with a free initial consultation for all ABN holders. Visit latitudeaccountants.com.au today. Latitude Accountants, taking the hassle out of your business accounting. If you got your own personal tax returns, I'm sure will lend you a hand. I'll hopefully be seeing him in the next week or two to turn that $4,500 deficit. I know I kept mentioning it into a $4,500. The tax man wants to rob me, mate.
$4,500?
Yeah.
You know what? I haven't even seen mine. I reckon it's...
Jeez, well, he's the guy we're going to be paying a visit.
Latitude? Done.
Yep.
My guy.
My guy. Tradies, just normal tax returns, successful businesses. You're in a tight corner. He's the guy to see. So we'll definitely be paying John a visit.
Absolutely.
Just on today's agenda. So, look, before we do get stuck in, Elma's been dying for me to pass on his message. Kind of laughed when I was reading it out, but Elmo has been communicating with us the last few days. He just
can't help himself.
He's too upset to rewatch the game. I think I laughed when I read that. Sorry, Elmo, we love you. I know you're sleeping. I know you got jet lag. But he hasn't even watched the highlights. I know it hurts, especially if you dominated the game. I mean, you also have to pass on that the referee can go and get effed.
Oh, wow. Okay.
For a guy that's advocated for the ref for the whole year, he's now stuck in the boot. He also wants to point out that Canterbury showed the NRL that those last two regular season matches didn't mean anything, and they've got the attitude and ability to kill it. Yeah, to an extent. Yep. He doesn't want to go on social media because it's too raw at the moment. Opposition fans, we know these do really hate the Bulldogs. I mean, I saw a lot of feral comments coming in.
Yeah.
I had your back. I jumped on the socials, and I know you saw me school a lot of them, which I did actually. He wanted to point out a great crowd at Addo-Carr. All right, Manly had more than 1,000 games experience. He's still angry at the loss. He's tossing and turning in bed. He can't sleep. That's probably why he's got jet lag. All right, I'll just let it go there. Anyways... So we're going to recap the game. How did you see it, man? Like, the way I saw it was Canterbury let that slip. Mate, they should have put them away. I don't know what they were doing. They were just resting on their laurels, I felt. How did you see it,
I watched
basically?
it live.
Yeah. Are you at the game?
Yeah, I did go to the game.
What happened? You were in the presidential lounge or something?
No, I wasn't at the president. It was not far off, actually. But we went and I don't know if many people know this, but LSU will have a restaurant at Addo-Carr Stadium.
I saw that, and so does El Jana and
No, but LSU almost have like a box-like restaurant there that you can see over the whole stadium.
No way.
It's 10 out of 10.
Jeez.
Anyway, so we watched the game from there. But you're right, there was two moments there. 16-6, I thought they had him. Yep. 22-12, I thought they definitely had him. But mainly experience. Dogs' mistakes.
Yeah, there was a few individuals I felt from the Dogs that didn't take the game by the scruff of the neck. There was a few crucial moments as well. I thought stung the Dogs, and one to me comes back just before half time. Man, that's unforgivable. I know that pass looks sus, but to let your opposition score before half time when you should be up at least 2 or 3 tries, to go in only up 4 points, and Canterbury were running into the wind in that first half. People don't realise.
Yeah, they were dominating.
And only got 4 points, and I thought, they let them score a try from nothing. If that can happen now, it's going to happen again later. But that really did sting, I felt. And then in the second half, Canterbury were dominating, but doing nothing with the possession and the territory. They were just getting down there and, it's like they were happy to get to the 4th or 5th, put a kick in. But even then, sometimes they were just dropping the ball. I felt like some of their more senior players really let them down. And when I mean senior players, I felt Reid Marnie had an absolute dreadful game. That's just me. I mean, Manly would be doing absolutely nothing, and then there was Reid Marnie with just a penalty out of nowhere to give him a piggyback out of there or an error. He wasn't just the only one. There was a few others as well. But that's just unforgivable.
It's disappointing because he's been so big for them this year, right?
Yeah, he's had his best season at Canterbury. I mean, but he's only had 2 seasons at Canterbury. He was immense from most of this year, but when it counts, just absolutely nothing.
That penalty shouldn't have. I think that, you know what it is? It's not even the penalty. I mean, there's plenty of penalties in a game of football.
100%.
Right? It's more just.
But it's the ones that you're giving them, carrying them out. You're letting them off the hook time and time again.
I think the one that one just sparked Manly.
They invited them down there.
They didn't need a spark. I feel like they were pretty flat going into that, and then once that penalty happened, they kind of turned that corner and said, you know what, we might be a chance here. But there were some big games from Manly players. There were some massive games. I thought Addo-Carr had his best game of the season. Yeah, Not so much with the ball.
He's a big game
those
player.
Little efforts that he kept putting in.
He was everywhere.
That kick chase was massive.
He was absolutely everywhere. I thought Kikau was having a game.
Kikau was unbelievable.
I thought he was having a real game. He was justifying player of the year.
They ran that great play with Kikau out the back in that first half. I feel like if they played their hand a little bit more, I reckon Keras could have gone under if they just played that short pass, which they didn't do, which was disappointing. I feel like they didn't want to attack when they were in front.
They didn't want to. Oh no! Like I said, they just rested on their laurels. I honestly just. Yeah, and it just stings because you just see these cocky Manly fans now rubbing it into the Dogs, and you're like, dude. He's even lucky to make the finals.
Even the kick-out charge down, that could have gone either way.
And it went straight to Manly. I couldn't believe it.
Leo was massive. For someone that got smashed pretty much 90% of that game.
Hapawadi?
Yeah, he was unbelievable.
I was bagging him out. So I was saying he was the worst player on the field. That was up to about half time.
And then he turned it.
Turned it big time.
Big runs. But Kohler's try was 10 out of 10. But Manly that
wouldn't go away.
Manly kicked better in the second half, I thought, as well. Burns me that Burden's got such a big boot and he just doesn't use it. See ya. Caps at one bomb again.
Yeah, I know. Look, their kicking day, from him and Sexton let him down big time. They're just resting.
Why does he bomb it?
I know, it's an absolute weapon. And there was wind swirling everywhere.
The only time he did it in that second half, he got a result. And 100%. He just put it away.
I just want to point out something, and one of our regulars, Brad Cambridge, he's pointed out about the Daly Cherry Evans from the scrum. At the time it happened,
play on.
You think it was all right?
Play on.
He didn't really pack the scrum though. It's kind of like got an advantage.
Happens every game. Referee either calls it or doesn't call it, and
that's where the problem is.
Yeah, I feel like if you're not calling it religiously all year,
then let it go.
Yeah, let it go. I mean, that's.
It was a great try, by the way.
Great try.
I was just like, wow.
Paseka ran hard. Paseka ran really hard.
Yeah. And then now Luke Brooks has got an unprecedented record in finals. From not playing a finals for about 12 seasons to now 100% record.
1 from 1.
1 from 1.
There's a big chance of going 2.
2 from 2. Jeez. I think they'll get the Roosters. Honestly, Manu's been down since he signed that deal.
Overseas?
Yeah, and Lindsay Collins, I always thought he was overachieving, and it's showed big time this year, in my opinion, anyway. So
Sam Walker's a massive loss.
And even the Cheese. Cheese in a big game.
Cheese is big, but Sam Walker's kicking game.
Oh, yeah, and direction around the field.
Yeah.
I mean, Kiri's not as young as he used to be. So, and Sandon Smith he doesn't offer anything, I reckon.
I think that's where Penrith won, and I feel like people I wouldn't say they're underestimating Melbourne, but Melbourne won't allow that against Penrith. I feel like they just got dominated in the halves. They just kept targeting Carey and what's the other half's name? Roosters. What we just said?
Keary and Walker or Sandon Smith.
Yeah. They kept targeting him.
He was funny. He was thrown into hooker at times. I thought Manu would go into the 5/8, but yeah. Anyways.
And then Dom Young.
Yeah, Dom Young. But yeah, just going back to the Canterbury game, like they go in at halftime. What do you think Serraldo would have told the players?
Possession.
Stick to possession and get to your end of your sets and
hold the ball.
Do we blame the senior players for not taking charge? That's what I thought anyway.
Who's their senior players though?
Well, you'd probably have to say it's Marnie and Burden.
Well,
Kickout I thought played his part brilliantly.
Crichton was a bit off in the second half.
Crichton didn't have a good game. I mean, he had a very average game. Like Bronson Sherry was more of a threat in attack. I don't know. I mean, maybe the ball needed to go to him more. Maybe it didn't go to him enough. That's what I felt.
Do you think he put himself under too much pressure?
Yeah, that's what I reckon. He should have asked for the ball more. He just stood there. He was like a passenger. Hey, what do you guys think? Do you think that Crichton was a passenger? I thought he was a passenger.
His best game to date was
against Canberra, I felt.
Canberra.
Yeah.
When he came across the other side of the field and scored off
and he scored the tries and set up the tries.
Well, yeah, he pretty much scored 2 tries and set up 1, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why he didn't do that for a player of his calibre.
He needed to pop up more and demand the ball more. He went to Sherry more. Like, Sherry wasn't shying away from it. He needed Crichton to come out. He really did. The seniors needed to lift. He's got that winning experience. The halves probably let him down. I thought Burton still had a decent game. I just thought at the crucial moments.
Just puts it away.
Yeah.
Too often. I think Cherry doesn't do it.
I thought they could have scored more tries this year, and that's what it is. They put it away.
Yeah, they just kind of play too safe when they're ahead, or they play too safe when they're just in touch. But if you see someone like Cherry, seeing him live, you could see him almost setting up a play.
Oh, 100%.
Every other
having
play.
A dig every time. I think after the last two...
And Turbo was sprinting from side to side.
And don't forget in that first half, I think they had to inject him at half-time.
They must have, because
there
was a time where Luke would call him over for a play on that left-hand side.
Yeah.
Luke would just play the back rower,
yep.
and he would sprint all the way across the Cherry side. And he did that about 4 or 5 times in that back end.
I think they'll get Roosters this week.
If he needs to be a little bit better. Physically he needs to be a little bit better. Not as a player, he's unbelievable. But I feel like if Tommy just recovers well this week, they're a massive chance. I don't see Roosters defending.
Like, just in regards to, I know Canterbury copped a tough week, but it looked like it was going to be a good return after those 2 shellackings they copped. And it looked like they were putting behind them.
They did return well.
With 15 to go, they looked like, this is looking good. And then just fell apart. I know the drama around Josh Addo-Carr. But guys, give us your thoughts.
On Addo-Carr?
Yeah, apparently he had a second drug test that came back negative, but that was their own. But then the other one from the police came back positive or something like that. He's accepted a fine and a 3-month driving suspension. And
is that what he's done now?
Yeah, is his time over at the Bulldogs? I don't think they should sack him. I've seen I'll give you examples like Latrell over the years, and then you got, what was Sideshow Bob's name from Gold Coast?
Oh.
He played for Melbourne as well with Jesse Bromwich. Kevin Proctor. Did you play with him?
I played against him.
Oh, okay.
Tough. But there's a few.
There's a few been over the years.
The thing with Addo-Carr is it because they want to keep Wilson?
Oh, but honestly, you know what? There was a try on the weekend that Skelton didn't score. Addo-Carr would have nailed, and he would have scored probably a few more. His speed's a weapon.
I reckon Wilson would have scored that too, to be honest.
Yeah, he's out injured.
Wilson would have got there.
So you reckon Wilson, he comes in at about half the money Addo-Carr's on, frees up money for them to probably,
I love Addo-Carr, but
I love him too.
There's a lot of injuries this year as well, which doesn't help.
Doesn't help, especially someone of his calibre.
Do you then pay him again and give him 1 more year? How old is he? 31?
No, he's only 29.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez. No, I'd keep him.
He's a sprinter.
To be honest, he was one of the first to come over.
Of course. And he's brought popularity to the club off the field.
As well, yeah.
You know, he's helped drive in the fans. He's still a wonderful asset on the field. Like, he's an absolute weapon.
Good bloke as well.
You know, there's just a lot of negativity around the club, and he still needs to remain there.
I think it was just the timing, right?
You know what? Even in towards his 32, 33, he'll still be in the top 2 to 5% quickest players in the game. That's how quick he is.
Oh, there was a couple of tries he even scored this year, injured.
Yeah, oh, yeah. What about in Origin last year when he scored that chip?
Yeah.
Oh, everyone's saying he's slowing down. It's because he's carrying a bit of niggling injuries.
I mean, they're out now. We're in, end of September.
You're on the
He's
money
got a
there.
solid 6 months.
You're on the money there, Brian. Like, Addo-Carr, he hasn't been 100% in this whole year. He goes away and has a good off-season. Gets
6
that.
months.
Yeah, he'll come back really good.
I reckon.
I reckon they should
get
keep
rid of
him.
only because he puts on tries. He's like, it reminds me of people like the Hammer. When
He's a
nothing's going
performer.
your way, he's a chance of scoring.
100%.
He gives
Something out
a
of
lot
nothing.
of confidence to Sherry.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else could do that.
100%.
So, no, I'll definitely keep him. I mean, as a Bulldogs.
And he'll
as a
save you
fan.
tries. He'll save you tries
Yeah.
with his extra speed.
Kick returns well. No,
yeah.
I'll definitely keep him.
People look at, you know, what really annoys me is people look at meters gained. Like, that could be so deceptive.
Yeah, 100%.
Deceptive, you know, like, could be dummy half scoots, could be kick returns. You
A
know,
lot of the
it's
times-
so deceptive.
Well, if you look at someone like some good players, like especially fullbacks, you don't get much meters out of them. But hey, the stuff they do off the ball,
Oh, yeah.
like look at Pap.
Yeah, always there. Jack in the box.
Honestly,
Dylan Edwards as well.
yeah, Dylan Edwards makes big meters off.
You know, he's not the quickest off backs, but it's what he does off the ball.
Yeah,
He's
it's off
always,
the
you know,
ball.
wrapping around as an extra man.
Plus, you're a winger. You want to score tries, right? And he does that. So you definitely need a try scorer.
100%.
Keraz is probably more the meter eater, bit safer.
Yeah. Kiraz, I'm not saying for Kiraz to make weight. Kiraz makes my team every day of the week.
No, I'm saying like if you're going to split the two wingers and you have Keraz and Addo-Carr, Keraz will probably do majority of the work, whereas Addo-Carr will probably do majority of the finishing.
On the money.
And especially if you've got
That's how he works as an
kick out
asset.
there as well.
Yeah,
Far
kick
out.
out.
Yeah,
You know,
can't lose
kick
it.
out just lays it on for him. It's good night with a bit of space.
Yeah.
You know, like 99.5% of players won't get him.
You got to keep that left edge. I mean, after the year the Dogs have had this year, you wouldn't want to change it too much.
Yep.
Kurt Mann comes back. He's massive. I thought that was the biggest loss for Dogs on the weekend. He's been
Huge. Like
just defensively and just another ball player. He gives a lot of space to Burden and Sexton.
Yeah, I know people are pointing out Skelton inexperience. I thought he had a decent game. Probably defensively could have been a lot better. But yeah, look, Addo-Carr, he's really missed him on the
He couldn't have done
weekend.
anything on the Kohler tackle, to be
Who?
honest. I mean, Skelton couldn't have
Oh,
done
of course
anything
not,
on
yeah.
that. I think Crichton was dead. You could tell he
They,
was
they hung
tired.
off him probably a bit too long.
Off Kohler?
Yeah, they did. What happened was Burden should have rushed over, but he thought Skelton had him. Everyone
No,
knows.
Sexton.
No, Burden thought Sexton had him.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
Sexton was labouring to
Pulled
get
off.
there. Burden should have went for him straight away.
How good was
Kohler?
that?
Oh, he's very quick. He'd be in the top 10 quickest players in the game.
Easy,
You know,
especially off the
I was
mark.
electric of a try. I'm like, oh my
That
God.
footwork he put on Tracy.
Yeah, burnt him.
Not many people would take him back out on the outside.
No way. Tracy's a whippet as well.
Yeah.
So.
So, you know, it's things like that. If that doesn't happen, Manly win, right?
Cooler.
I mean, Dogs
Apparently, Tolatau Kohler, both his parents were sprinters at the Olympics.
He's got a sprinter's body.
You know, like, and apparently, I
Shredded.
know he comes from Apollo, but both his parents ran really good.
Kohler's unbelievable. He makes the Manly side every week. I mean, they're looking at Saab coming back. I mean, they'll obviously probably get rid of Tommy Talau, right?
Why?
Who else are you going to... I wouldn't
I
drop...
thought he was all right.
But who do you drop for Saab if Saab comes back?
He's a weapon, but Saab has his rocks moments, and a lot of them too. Jeez. Whereas
Just-
Tommy
do you know what the
gives you
thing with
consistency.
Saab is, though?
Confidence.
Nah, it's not that.
Remember against the
I
West
feel like
Tigers?
I feel like...
3 drop balls in 3 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
Jeez.
But then he's also got that, like, if Tommy finds him, they're away.
Oh, yeah, him, Garrick.
And he passes it back
he'll
on
score
the
you-
inside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like he'll give you 30 tries.
It's like they can score from anywhere when he
Everyone
plays.
scores.
When he
Everyone.
plays, they can score from anywhere. And I
like-
think they need that versus the Roosters.
It's like Usain Bolt in the straight. That's what it feels like a horse. It's crazy.
Speed kills at the moment.
It does. And that's one thing I've always pointed out about St. George. They got the slowest back line in the comp. Ridiculous. Like, I remember...
Lomax has got speed.
Who?
Lomax is pretty
Lomax. I think it was Braden Burns or Corey out. No, Braden Burns last year at Wollongong had his leg strapped, limping. On one leg outpaced
But Lomax
Lomax.
wasn't really playing well last year.
No, he's slow. He's a great centre and a great winger. I mean, well, good winger, but he's slow. He lacks speed.
Yeah,
He probably even, I reckon he's big enough to play in the lock role. He's very powerful. He's a power player.
You need quick wingers in the game, I reckon.
Exactly.
Look at I
keep pointing out this.
Cam Pereira.
Freak.
He's got to play Origin.
That Mariner from Brisbane, I know they got him in the centres at the moment.
Yeah.
Freak.
When he can catch the ball, he's a freak.
Oh, yeah. And look, somebody called him Slomax. Thanks, Brian. Let's just go for a quick few comments. Starquin, Samir Williams. What a name. Can do a Wilf. Can we do it? Say, Samir, Elmo's in New York. He sends his love and regards. He did single you out. Jamie, let's see. Yep, needs to prove himself more than Sherry did. Yep, Daniel already touched on that. Joey, definitely agree about Addo-Carr. Brad, Anari Tuala from Newcastle. Honestly, I don't think Anari Tuala's better than what you guys got. I think he's more like a depth signing. He's a good replacement. If he's ever get any injuries, he'll slot straight in. He won't look out of position.
Does he play over Skelton?
No, Skelton's gone to the Tigers. He won't play over Wilson.
If over the weekend? Oh, okay, Wilson's there too.
Yeah, he won't play over them. But you know what? He's a great replacement. He won't look out of place.
Yeah, he'll get game time.
If he's coming, Regan Campbell-Gillard set to stay in Sydney, but isn't signing with any of the clubs that he has been rumoured to be signing with.
Isn't signing?
Yeah, so he could be coming to the Dogs.
Roosters?
Apparently Finch reckons he saw him at a Chinese restaurant in Belmore, so the same one that Phil Gould gets spotted at, apparently. So
really?
That's Finch saying. Finch, come out and confirm if you're watching, mate. Or just reading on.
He'd be a good asset.
Yeah, that's about it. Season review. There's not much more the Dogs need to sign besides a middleman, I reckon. They've signed a lot the last couple of years.
They've got Tupanua coming. He'll be great. He most likely. He'll probably
apparently Takiaho's back on the radar.
He'll play middles again. So
your old sparring partner, Suya Takiaho?
Freak.
Has he got a knee problem?
He does.
Before that knee problem, he was a goal kicker. He was a bullocking front rower. He used to kill us in the Anzac Day matches.
Funny story.
Tupanua as well. I'm sick of those guys.
Funny story about Siwa.
Yeah, let's see this.
We were at the Warriors and we had done, I reckon, about 4 months of preseason.
Yep.
Very, very difficult. Warriors, by the way, has got one of the hardest preseasons
I heard this before from you, yeah.
And Siwa was coming back from a broken leg. I think he probably come back running on a Thursday. The following Tuesday, we had a yo-yo.
Yep.
And Siwa won.
What? Start again?
Off a broken leg, he came back and won the yo-yo. After we had just trained for 4 months straight. He is the motor.
Oh, he was with you at the Warriors?
Yeah, he's got a motor on him, man. Far out. He'll give you 80.
I remember there was an Anzac Day.
He's given plenty teams. He gave Roosters 80 so many times.
There was before he done his knee.
Yeah,
as a bit of that battle. There was an Anzac Day match against the Dragons. I think he pocketed 20 points, 2 tries, over 300 run meters, about 40 tackles.
That's him always.
That's just crazy.
That's him always.
Don't forget, he's a 2-time premiership player. He's got the experience. I think he'd be a great signing for Canterbury.
Footwork.
Oh yeah,
goes hard.
He's a goal kicker as well.
Yeah, and he can kick well.
And if he's not starting, he'll provide good cover from the bench. He'll give you good stints. And
he needs a good preseason though. You definitely need a good preseason.
I hope his knees recovered.
Tupanua will go right edge. Then you got Kurt Mann, and then you got obviously Kikau. That's a great back row.
Yeah.
Salmon's got to go.
Oh yeah, totally agree. Look, to Canterbury's credit,
out of the country.
I'll give them one thing. Canterbury to their credit, they've only signed them on 2-year deals.
He needs to go to England.
So if they have to do 1 more year with them, they'll toss them out. I'll give Phil Gould that. He only signed players on 2-year deals. Who do you think Canterbury should go for? Another middle forward?
I'll give him a middle forward.
Regan Campbell-Gillard.
Honestly, I don't want to. I mean, is it to win a premiership or is it to just keep making the 8? Because there's a big difference.
You've got to keep building up. It's a larger, inexperienced side.
I was saying to win a premiership.
Probably to go up the ladder again, maybe to top 6. Now, or they did finish 6, but probably now to on the cusp of the 4 and start, not get there at 32 points and only 2 points in front of 8th. More like...
I mean, they're about 5 players to win a premiership, I reckon.
Yeah, but you got to start somewhere and it's probably in the middle.
I think Sexton's got to go.
Yeah, but probably give him another year or 2. I agree.
I don't think he wins you a grand final. I mean, if you look at the players...
I've got a feeling Elmo just woke up. It's about 4 a.m. in New York.
And you heard that?
Hopefully
he didn't hear that.
I hope he rewatches this whole podcast.
Look, I think Sexton's a great player. I actually do. I think he's done all right.
Yeah, but I don't think he wins him a premiership either.
He doesn't.
Something I've been quarrelling with Elmo the whole year.
I think if you look at the last at least five premiership winning halfbacks, you've got Cleary, you've got Hughes, and you've got Cronk.
Yeah. Wow.
So if you don't have one of them, you're not winning a premiership anytime soon.
That Cleary's a freak.
Well, you got Cronk, and then you got Hughes, and then you got Cleary.
There's got to be a new one coming out somewhere. I know Canterbury's got this this good young gun called Mitchell Woods.
Him, man. I don't
you
know.
didn't have raps on him, mate?
There's no Galvin.
He's no Galvin.
And they're the same age. There's a big difference between the two players.
Galvin's a freak. What about, you said the St. George halfback was better?
Yeah, Shardy. He was a
No, he's a 5'8".
Oh, he's a 5'8". I thought
he played reserve grade.
I thought he was the best player on the field that day.
Took him a while to crack to Fleeg, but then he played one game Fleeg, and they said, okay, he's too good for Fleeg. He ended up playing reserve grade.
Has he been?
First game, yeah. I think he ended up playing 2 games at the back end of the year.
How did he go?
Killed it. He scored in both games.
Really?
Yeah, and then he got the lick in King Togia, and yeah. I think Mitchell Woods.
No, he'll come good.
I think he's good.
But then it's like, how long do you give him, right?
He's only 18 though, isn't he? You give him 2 years, I reckon.
Does that mean the Dogs are still...
They got Sexton next year, and then if Woods comes really good, he could probably feature next year, but I reckon the year after, potentially.
He definitely needs to play some trials.
Oh, 100%. Everyone has to play trials.
Be interesting to see how he goes. Because you know some players come good. You know how some players just play well?
Yep.
Look at like Galvin, for example. Like at an average Tiger... I mean, not an average Tigers side, but he's played some great footy this year.
Yeah, he's an absolute freak. But then, they got a lot...
What happens when he goes to the right side? Because
Galvin?
He's a massive left-hand carrier of the ball.
Oh, you're talking about Galvin?
Yeah.
No, I've seen him on the right side. Equally as effective. You don't think so? I found him equally as effective.
He's got a massive right fin and a massive left-hand carry.
He just gets the ball all the time. He demands it always. But eventually, you don't want him overplaying his hand.
Luai's going to be there for him.
Yeah, Luai's fantastic. That's who Canterbury should have went for.
Yeah. But then you got Luai and Burton, both left-foot kickers. It's hard.
Oh, it works its way out. I'm sure a lot of sides over the years have had 2 right-footers.
I don't think anyone's ever had 2 left-footers.
It might work. That's probably an advantage. It works.
So Burton's just so dominant. They're just both dominant.
It's something you're not used to.
They're just both so dominant on the left hand.
Because I'll give you an example. I know it's a different sport, but Brian Dipp could probably back me up. But at one stage, Australia had 2 opening batsmen that were left-handers, and that was a rarity. Justin Langer and Matthew Hayden. They were an absolute nightmare for everyone to bowl to, because I'm bowling to left-hand after left. It's just they absolutely.
I think ball playing wise, it wouldn't make a difference. I just feel like you really limit yourself kicking out of trouble.
Canterbury. I think their Jersey Fleet side's in the grand final. They got good.
Good juniors coming up.
Oh, they got it stacked. Like their SG Ball made the grand final. Their Matthews got them on a premiership.
That's what Penrith been doing the last few years.
Yeah,
it's good signs for the
I
Dogs.
know, it's not doom and gloom. Like, they made the finals. Like, it's
good signs for the Dogs.
Does it get better from here? They just got stacked. You got to just wait a couple of years, I find. Like, it's going to be a stacked. Who suffered in all of this? Penrith.
How so?
They keep losing player after player. Do they have the players to replace him? At the moment, it looks it.
I don't think that. The thing with Penrith is very, very similar to what Storm did.
They got too many good ones.
They've kept their spine.
Yeah,
they've kept their needed spine. I mean, Storm lost. Storm lost Greg Inglis, Gareth Witter, the whole world literally, but they kept Cronk, Slater, and Smith. And Penrith are keeping Edwards and him and Isaiah Yeo, it looks like. And that's massive.
But no Luai.
Do you need him with Cleary there?
You know what? When Cleary wasn't there, he was a great,
Yeah, but when Luai wasn't there in the grand final, Cleary won it.
Yeah, he was just there for his presence. Everyone thought Luai was there as a foil.
He won it without Luai.
Yeah, I know. Cleary's a freak. Like, wow.
Immortal.
He will be. 3 in a row, going 4. I hope they get the 4.
He should be one of those players that becomes an immortal while he's still playing.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. For those still watching, again, I just want to mention our great sponsors at Latitude Accountants. Again, they're small business accountants. Give them a try. If you're a tradie, they get tradies. And basically, a lot of their clientele are tradies. If you're looking just to do your tax return, I'm sure John will give a hand, him and his team over there. Whether you're a sole trader or running a growing business, Latitude has got your accounting needs covered with a free initial consultation for all ABN holders. Visit latitudeaccountants.com.au today. And, take the hassle out of your business accounting. I'm sure you don't want to go through those headache of the paperwork. Someone like me tried to do it myself online. Found I'm about 4.5K in the red. So, yeah, I had to learn the hard way. I still haven't had time. I will make time to go see him.
John will look after you.
I'm sure you need to go see him as well.
Hey,
I'm
John.
sure half our viewers at home need to go see him. Latitudeaccountants.com.au. If you forget it, feel free to reach out to us, guys. DM, and we'll give you all the details and whatnot.
Well said.
All right, so just going on, we're going to review the games on the weekend. Guys, anything you want to talk about Canterbury, feel free to put it in the comments.
Yeah, absolutely.
First game, Panthers versus Roosters. Went the way I thought. Cleary's first game back. Feels like the one doesn't need to play the whole year and just rock up for the finals and,
so well drilled. Isn't he?
Like Brad Cambridge made a comment that he reckons, good shout though, Munster and Hughes, he reckons are going to stop Penrith.
I just don't think Liam Martin and old mate on that left edge, or Luke Garner played off the bench, but they
I think Garner's over. I don't think Garner's that effective. I know he scored twice.
You know what? He's hard to handle.
Luke Garner?
Especially near the try line. I've played with him.
Oh.
He's played outside me.
Where'd you play at Mounties?
No, we were at Young together. Sorry, not Young. We were at Wyong together when we were at the Roosters.
Oh, is he come through their system?
Yeah, he's a Roosters boy.
He just doesn't feel like to me he's a bullocking. He seems like he's a quick,
hard, man.
He feels like he's a quick, rangy back rower.
He's hard.
Is he?
He's tough.
He's added a bit of size now.
Very tough. And he
was
scores.
That the Tigers that probably ruined him. Yeah, made him look weak.
Well, he was unbelievable at the Roosters for those games that he did play.
Wow.
But that's the thing. I don't think Liam Martin dominates Munster, and I don't think Sorensen dominates Jerome Hughes the way they did against Kerry and Stan Smith.
Hughes defends really well.
They are easily the best defensive
Munster and Hughes
easily in the comp, only because.
But Leo,
they're strong enough to take. They're strong enough to take it back right.
Penrith halves, they're great defenders.
Cleary misses.
Yeah, but still relatively really good. Even Jerome Law, he's in your face always.
No, they're in your, they'll both handle each other well, is what I'm trying to say. I don't think they'll do what Roosters did and kind of be on the back foot. They were just dominating. Every tackle was the legs tackle.
Yeah, fair enough.
And Cleary's kicking game was 10 out of 10. Luai Ball plays well. Alamotti shouldn't have left the Dogs.
So you reckon it's going to be in the forwards?
That game?
Yeah, if they do clash in the grand final.
I don't know. I don't know if I told you. Do you remember when everyone was giving grief to Grant?
Yeah.
And they were saying that was the shittest Origin he's ever played. He's not the player he used to be.
Well, it came back and answered his critics.
And I told everyone that he'll be the best player back end of the season. He has not had one bad game since he's left Origin.
He's actually just kept buzzing on, yeah.
He hasn't stopped.
Scored a first career hat-trick as well.
And you see what Bellamy can do to a player's confidence? Like, he would have come off that Origin thinking he's the worst hooker in the game.
I think everyone wants to play for that guy. Not because
he scored 3 on the weekend.
But if you hear him talk, it's not because of the winning culture. It's just he's got that effect on you.
Yeah, he brings out the best in players.
Oh, yeah. He reassures you. So he's a guy that you definitely want to play for.
That'll be a great game. I don't see them losing.
Fair enough.
I don't see Storm losing.
You reckon the Storm will get the pin?
Yeah, I think they take it.
Well, if you think about it, 2020, first year of the COVID, Storm blew them away. Penrith came back late, but Storm knew they had it
in the bag.
And then,
They just...
Storm looked
Warbrick... Xavier Coates.
He's gotten better, that Will Warbrick.
He's been unbelievable. Xavier Coates, they've got unbelievable centres. Meany's a gun for them anyway. It wasn't the best for Dogs, but he knows his role. They attack from anywhere. Be a great game. Be very close, though.
What do you think on... Anyways, the Roosters got blown off the park. Or
do they come back?
I think Manly gets them this week, but we'll get there anyway. Sharks versus Storm. I mean, Sharks are just... Sharks are just making up the numbers.
They always do.
I feel like they overachieved. I kept telling everyone they're overachieving in the first half of the season, and then they just felt to shit after.
They really miss
They're still
Maloney.
a top 4 side. They really... Who they miss?
They really miss Maloney. I don't know why. He's just one of those players that just did so well for Sharks.
No, he's long gone, but we're talking about Hines nowadays.
I know, but I'm saying, like, the way
He's missed the confidence.
Trindle and...
Trindle goes good.
I know, but they
Trindle's
just...
been playing better than Hines.
I feel like they leave when the pressure gets on.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, they don't take it. Hines, I realise, can't. You know, he needs time. If you don't give him time, he doesn't have a plan B.
Yeah.
Doesn't know how to adapt. That's
Who's
what I
coaching
find.
him?
Craig Fitzgibbon, the old mate.
It's a good coach.
Well, he's not bad of a coach, but
Do you think that's short?
maybe Hines should be your second receiver instead of your first receiver. I know. These days.
See, they got Kennedy, right? For me, Hines is a fullback. I just think he's an out-the-back player.
Yeah, he went good at Melbourne with that position.
Took them to the grand final.
Yeah, you're right.
I feel like he's that type of player. I
think he needs to go back there.
He's too erratic to be a halfback at the moment.
I think Cronulla got a few good halves in the lower grades waiting to come through. So maybe he needs to go to the back.
Who, Atkinson?
No, I think there's a few others there. Like even that Dykes. Adam Dykes' son's apparently a really good half too.
Yeah. They're another one. They'll be around that top 8 for a while, though.
Fair enough. Somebody called Brad Cambridge called Hines Reid Marnie at the Dogs. Oh shit!
You can't replace Marnie at the Dogs, though.
No, you know Reid Marnie. Oh yeah, Nico Hines you can replace. No, Reid Marnie you can. They let go of Jeremy Marshall King. Maybe they should have kept him. Because when Jeremy Marshall King came back to the Dolphins, there was a resurgence.
Oh, mate, how good was he?
I think Canterbury are kicking themselves. They should just try to bring him back. What a player he's turned out to be, eh?
Just very...
Carving his own path.
Very deceiving from dummy half.
Very
deceiving.
He's got very deceiving, but he gets the ball rolling, quick service.
Gets the boys on the run.
He's a fox. You know, so that's... is there any way Canterbury can get him to break his contract?
They don't let go of
Marnie can go back to Paris.
They're not letting go of money.
Cowboys versus Knights. Jeez, man.
Making up the numbers.
Yeah.
Ponga's good, though. Isn't he? Feel sorry for him. That 10 years that
you know what?
Knights
That Kyle
him.
felt twice. Twice saved a try and then end up scoring one instead.
He's got it in him.
Yeah.
He's always had it in him.
And then, I know Ponga was absolutely untouchable, but he's part to blame for that last try. Like, he threw the ball around his knees. Yes, he should have caught it, but
He
had Tyson Gamble on the inside.
under the post.
Dude, I know you got him in that position. But dude, you know, it's not a mistake Andrew Johns wouldn't have made.
You know what? Ponga's a disappointment.
Fantastic play. He was untouchable, though.
Just hate that he's been at the Knights for so long.
I know. Go to another club. Go to St. George for, I know, man. Or go to
Can you imagine him at Penrith of Cleary?
Oh, untouchable. Man, they can pay him the money, I reckon. Why the Knights? Doesn't suit him. Like, it burns me he plays for the Knights.
Why didn't they get a good club around him?
I know.
He hasn't played with one good...
I feel like
he's played with good players, but not anyone great.
I know. I feel like his father dictates where he goes because his father's got a job with the Knights. Like, why should
Who cares?
Get him out of there.
What's he, 28?
No.
Younger?
I think he'd be 26, I think.
No, man. Get out of here.
Yeah, I think Ponga's 26.
No way.
Yeah. I think Ponga is 25 even. He's either 25 or 26.
Not.
Yes,
He's been playing for 10 years.
Somebody correct me.
26.
Am I right? Yeah.
26.
Because I remember 2017, he was the 18, 19-year-old that was playing. He made his debut that year and he was killing it in the 20s.
How long has he got left?
I reckon he's about... Hopefully he doesn't get any more concussions. I reckon he's about 7, 8 years.
Not him. How long is his contract?
Oh, I don't know. 3 years, 2 years. Does anyone know? Anyone know you can get the hell out of that club? You can do better, a lot better than Newcastle.
Hey,
any Newcastle fans watching, I still love you.
Could you imagine him at the Dogs?
They're building a team.
Could you imagine him at the Dogs?
The fans would love him.
Does Gus get him?
I reckon Gus can get anyone he wants.
Because then I'll put Tracy at centre.
Connor Tracy?
Yeah, I love Tracy.
You won't put Ponga at 5'8"?
No, I'll put him at fullback, man. Do whatever he wants.
Tracy can cover the halves. People don't realise.
Yeah, he did a little bit
He's
at the Sharks last year.
He's a very able player.
He's a very good player.
Yeah.
But man, Ponga. Ponga plays on the weekend for the Dogs, do they win?
Oh, easily. Not just win. They win probably by like 20-30, I reckon. He ices those moments. They just sit back. One thing about Ponga is he doesn't sit back.
He goes. You know what?
You're up by 20, he's going. Yep.
He's done it a couple times recently because he's found his speed again. I think he was carrying a bit of a niggle.
Remember, he was out for a while.
Yeah, but that little hip drop that he does at the line before he takes off.
Oh, yeah. I think he needs to leave that club. Well, I'm sorry.
I just don't want him to waste 10 years at that club. I hate to say it, but I feel like he deserves a few premierships.
He does. He does. Definitely. He does. 100%. Like, yeah, he's too good of a player not to win a title, I find.
Like, I love Walsh, but Ponga's... I feel like Ponga's more complete at the moment.
Well, Ponga should have been the Queensland fullback.
Yeah.
You know, even in that last game, what was the point of putting him on the bench? If he started, they would have... I know Walsh tried his ass off. No, Walsh doesn't get him looking. He can be outside the squad. It was easy for him to leave out David Fafita. I'm sure he can leave out also Reece Walsh.
Walsh can play, but...
He can. So can Fafita. But I just think Ponga's a better option.
Fafita was silly. I feel like Slater got a little bit too cocky.
And he left Saw out as well. I don't understand Saw being left out.
He shouldn't have let Fafita out. He needed someone like that because they got dominated.
Yeah.
Tino's there. Tino and Flegler's big losses too, though. It'll be a different...
Mahali, what a player. Oh, man, I hope he goes back to Melbourne. He was a terror at Melbourne. Remember when Bellamy had
Tino?
him? Yeah.
I reckon he's good for Titans.
No, he's great, but I'd love to see him back at Melbourne.
Titans look good.
They are looking good, but I just want him back at Melbourne. Do you remember when he was at Melbourne?
Remember he was close to signing for the Roosters?
Who, Tino?
That was scary.
Yeah. Far out. They signed everything. If Doc Zoo let Addo-Carr go, I reckon he'd definitely end up at the Roosters. They got the money.
Oh, because Tupou's going?
No, Tupou will probably get re-signed. It's because Manu, Kiri, there's a few going from there.
What does Teddy have?
Swaliti, huh?
What does Teddy have in him?
Probably 2-3 years. He'll go to 34, 35. He's still in good nick. He's 31 now. Minicello went to 34, 35. He had a few injuries. He made it that far. I love the Italian fullbacks, the Roosters.
Yeah, true.
You know,
Many was a cut.
he was a freak. Wow. He was an absolute whippet.
What a legend.
Oh, yeah.
Could tackle too.
Could run into the line like a... Remember, he used to run
He's
like
so fit.
He used to run like he was running into a brick wall.
He's so fit.
Yeah, he was a freak.
Yeah, Minnie's a legend.
Absolute freak.
Who else played? Cowboys. Who did the Cowboys play?
The Cowboys?
Yeah, they were the Knights.
So if we preview this week, yeah, the Knights. The Knights had that for the taking, but yeah, they let that slip.
Who did Cowboys play this week?
All right, so this week you got the Cowboys who are taking a chartered flight for 100K because they missed. There's only 2 flights direct from North Queensland to Sydney each day, and then the flight on that day, I think it's a Saturday, was booked out. So NRL now is forking out $100,000 to bring him down. Should always happen. You make millions around them, so of course you got to fork out the 100K for them.
They should be chartering regardless.
Of course, you know it's a $1 billion game. I'm sure you can spend the 100K on them.
You have to.
You know, and the ratings will be through the roof. They got Cronulla. Cronulla's an embarrassing club.
The Cowboys go all the way to the top 4 again. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect it.
No.
They were in a hole for a while.
Yeah, and they came and finished 5th. Out of nowhere.
And now they'll be in 1 game away from the grand final.
I think they beat Cronulla. I reckon they can.
Is that at Shark Park?
It was. But then they've moved it to Allianz because what happened was...
Okay, Allianz is all right.
You know, I don't understand. This is my question again. For a team that's had a success for a sustained period, how are you only getting 11,000 to your games?
Cronulla?
Yeah. Like, and do they really make
got
money
good
off
junior footy as well?
They do, but do they make money off the field? Because they seem to be getting $5 million donations or $3 million to get propped up. Like,
why do you think they should play at Shark Park?
No, I think they should just be relocated. Like, it's a business at the end of the game, end of the day. You know, if you want to expand it nationally...
Cronulla don't play out of Shashai anymore?
No, they play out of Adelaide. I think first I had them playing out of Perth, but, you know, the NRL took a while to move them out of Sydney. So then North Sydney Bears will come back as the Western Bears. Horrible name, by the way, Western Bears. Call them the Western Reds or the Western Stingrays or something. Anyways.
Western Force. After the last effort for rugby union.
Yeah, anyway.
No, you can't.
I think now, look,
you
honestly,
can't have a team out of Cronulla. I mean, no, sorry, you can't not have a team out of Cronulla.
There wasn't a team there for a long time. They used to be St. George territory, so I'm not asking St. George to take it back. I'm still saying Cronulla can stay there, but I think they also need a base in Adelaide now. You want to make it a national competition.
But what? Their players go travel to Adelaide to play?
No, they base themselves year-round. They probably play 2 games at Shark Park a year.
And then the rest at Adelaide?
Yeah, bloody oath. You want to make it a national competition? Adelaide Rams get...
So that means they'll have to travel for their home ground?
No. They're based in Adelaide full-time. They still play 2 games a year in Sydney.
So they live in Adelaide now?
That's it. They become the Adelaide Sharks. Similar what you got with North Sydney Bears now being reincarnated as the Western Bears. If you want to use the AFL example, the Sydney Swans used to be known as the South Melbourne Football Club, and they moved to Sydney. You know, you don't lose your... I'll tell you now, the people of Cronulla will still always follow the club. But honestly, you want to make it a national competition. You want to make them a financial powerhouse. Because, man, their crowds are dwindling. There was a stage I remember...
Have they confirmed the Perth team?
Yeah, there has been.
It's confirmation?
2027. It's a Papua
Western
New Guinea
Sydney
team
Bears?
I don't like. Anyway, I don't know why we need a Papua New Guinea team. It's all political, but... You know, I remember...
So teams are going to go to PNG now?
I wouldn't want to go there.
Hey, it's pretty good footy out there.
Yeah, they love
you know
it.
what it reminds me of?
I'd rather another...
It reminds me of the All Blacks that used to go to Johannesburg to play against South Africa.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's wild.
That's cool, though.
It's not safe when you see people holding AK-47s. You know, remember you used to see them at... I think it's Ellis Park. You used to see them with the helmets and the AK-47s. You're talking about mid-90s.
Yeah, it was great footy. When Jonah used
I used
to
to watch that on TV and think, that is insane. Or at Loftus Versfield, that's another field they got there. That's insane.
I think it'll be all right in PNG. They've had a fair few Aussie games, Prime Minister games there.
I know. I just feel like you need either another New Zealand team or another Australian team. I still think we need a third Brisbane team. I'd love to see an Adelaide team.
Where do you get these players from? Because at the moment, we've got
the talent pool is pretty crap. I'm not going to lie.
I don't think there's enough good players to have any.
There
more
isn't.
teams.
Even with 17, I don't think there's enough.
You know what I always said that they should do? And I don't know how it would work, but it would make people want to try a little bit harder. Almost like the EPL, where second division and third division's just as great and followed. Obviously, they got more people, but I feel like if they had 20 teams and they had a 10 and 10...
You know where the talent will come from? And I see them. It's going to come from New Zealand and the Polynesian states. Before the NRL or the old ARL, the Polynesians were in the minority. They might have made up about 2 to 5% of the players. Now they make up about half. So New Zealand's a supplier, as is a lot of those in the Fiji, Tonga, Samoa, Cook Islands.
It's too big, man.
No, but there's a lot of rugby union converts that can't make it in the union. They go to league and really cut it out.
I reckon if you come last, you should piss off to bottom division. They should have divisions.
They should have, but they didn't. There's clubs there.
Like if you're going to have... how many clubs is there now?
17.
If you're going to have 18...
And then 19, then it looks like they want to get back to 20.
If you're going to get to 20, you should have a 10-10.
Not bad. Probably 12-8.
Look, if you have a 10-10, everyone plays each other twice in your division.
Well, 18 games a year.
18 games a year. Then you play your finals, and then you play relegation.
I know. Oh, I thought you were going to say split like division, like in the NBA.
You could do that as well.
Then you got, the NBA
then the divisions meet.
Nah, we're not big enough.
We don't have enough players.
We don't have 30 teams. They were like 30 teams. That's why the NBA and the NFL and all that does that. So, just something we're throwing out, guys. So,
I just feel like there's not enough good players. Like we struggled for about an hour just before to figure out who's going to be the new halfback for the Dogs. Who's going to be the new halfback for the other 6 teams you're trying to bring in?
Yeah, I know. I'll give you an example. St. George get rid of Ben Hunt, hopefully, anyway, if anyone's watching. But they're going to have to rely on 18 and a 19-year-old to fill that void. Are they going to cut
enough, man.
Are they going to cut it? That's the question.
I feel like you've got to be in your 20s these days to cover it.
Because it feels like a Cleary comes around once probably every 20, 25 years. Because before Cleary, Cronk didn't really cut it to his early 20s. Even Thurston really hit his straps. But before Cleary, you probably got to go back to Andrew Johns in 94 as 18, 19.
What about Lockyer?
Lockyer started off as a fullback, and even then he had a shaky first few years. He was very able at the start, but he didn't really solidify to his early 20s.
Look, there's not enough good players. I hate to say it.
Oh, I totally agree. But you know what? It's a chance. We just need to see the young guns get more of a chance. You probably need that discrepancy. growing up, I used to open up the catalogue and see the home and away draw for my side. I used to point out, for example, I used to go,
I want to win this. Can I lose this?
No, I'm going to go Souths, Balmain, West, Gold Coast, Cowboys, Parramatta. We're definitely beating these guys this year. All right, how much are we playing them? Oh, yeah, we got it in a total of 10 times. That's 10 wins to St. George. And then you go, Canterbury, 50-50. No, we're not beating Brisbane. We're not beating Manly. We're not beating Norths. 50-50 Roosters. Oh, we're beating Illawarra, for example, the Steelers.
You know before you even play them.
And then it's funny, you project St. George will get, for example, 26, 28 points, and they'd end up about that and make the finals. And I used to think they were scraping 6 or 7. As a kid, I was almost
lucky you weren't a bookie.
It was crazy. And no, I wasn't the only one. Like, Canterbury fans, the older generation could probably relate. Like, I don't know if Jamie or any of the Brad or whoever's watching on the older fellas, you used to look at the draw and know you're going to beat this side. If you got West or South or Balmain, they were dreadful in the 90s.
It's going to get to it, though. It's like when Storm play. Like, I know it happens every now and then. A lower team might have a good win. But, man, if Storm played Tigers this weekend, Storm put 60 on them.
On the Tigers?
Yeah. If they played this weekend. I'm saying if Tigers were still in the comp.
I reckon... you mean the West Tigers? I reckon if...
I just feel like if we're going to have another 4 teams, they're going to be even worse than what we have.
I think we could probably see 80, 90-point scoreline or probably break that previous record, 91-6. And that's been like...
That's what I'm saying. You're going to have another 4 teams at that level.
You're going to see 80, 90 points almost difference. That's crazy.
And I reckon that's when teams buckle. Fans don't want to watch that.
Yeah.
If I was the Adelaide guy and I had a new team and I couldn't get a halfback or a 5A or a fullback.
The Adelaide Sharks.
And now I'm watching my team get pumped by 50
it's pretty much a Cronulla Sharks base.
No, I'm saying if there's a new team like Perth, who's Perth going to pick?
You know what? North Sydney Bears will supply a few players, but...
North Sydney's...
You know what it is? I'll tell you what it creates. It creates more opportunity.
But when you say North Sydney Bears, who do they supply?
You know what's a market they need to target besides probably the New Zealand and Polynesian markets? They'll provide the extra players. South Africa.
Too far.
Regardless, there's a lot of guys that... in the 90s, we used to have a few South African...
They're too passionate about their rugby, man.
But if you offer them the money, the pay packet, there's those fringe players in union, they'll come to league and they'll be an absolute... There's some big units.
Oh, South Africa's 20
huge humans, They
are not.
You got they got the Afrikaans there.
No,
you got the
they're
Africans.
They're not normal at the moment.
Huge.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, if you offer them, regardless, the pay packet in NRL, there's a lot there that'll be fringe. And I think, you know what? I could take easy $500,000 here, and they'll probably end up being a hit. Like, surely. I remember Tian Strauss. He used to play for Cronulla Sharks. He was a rugby union convict.
Well, look at Roosters' winger now. Oh, I can't.
Jared Safi from St. George. He was a rugby union convict.
I can't say the Roosters' winger's name, but he's going to be one of the best wingers in the comp.
Who, Dominic Young?
No, man.
You're saying you're one of the Roosters at the moment?
Yeah, Noah Kasa, the Fijian.
Oh, Mark Noah Kawatawasi. Can somebody Elmo's not here, but
just before he played, he debuted me and Eloni Bonakesi. Because he's obviously Fijian as well.
Yeah.
He reckons Mark's going to go. I reckon he's going to be one of the best wingers in the comp.
Wow.
He's good.
He's a rugby union. See, there you go.
He's Fijian, but he's like Jared Hayne.
And that's another thing. You've hit now a good point.
If you get a few of them.
No, I'm not about Jared Hayne. Jared Hayne was an absolute freak. I don't care what anyone thinks. He never played with a stack lineup. Absolute freak. But just on that, you hit another pointer. Poaching rugby union talent from Australia. I know I touched on South Africa.
Yeah.
But from Australia as well. That's where the players will be made up from. Because you think about it, rugby union here might as well just go back to being an amateur sport. They got towed up by Argentina, 67 to 27?
And they were winning in the first half.
And they were winning like 27-7 or something. Absolutely embarrassing.
Rugby's getting big worldwide, though.
It is, but Australia's becoming an amateur sport. Because
Australia's struggling, but rugby's becoming big.
They need a cash injection. They can't stem the NRL tide. Rugby league's just become king.
And why they...
I'll tell you
why is rugby league struggling in the lower grades? Apparently they're struggling for numbers.
When lower grade? You mean junior footy?
Yeah.
It's because people that have never played rugby league are getting their hands in there and just putting all these ridiculous rules and pretty much just finding it unattractive to play. That, or it could be the Polynesian kids are bigger than all the other kids. And I never had a problem with them. You didn't have a problem with them, I actually loved it, seeing some big units out. I loved it too, but
far out. It was, you had to put some effort into it.
Of course, it was intense.
You know what I used to do?
I used to just run away.
You know what? Yeah, when I was young.
I had a lot more pace.
I'm talking about like 10, 11.
Yeah, left
I
foot
used to
step, right foot step.
Nah, running with the ball, I was all right because I could get around them. But I used to wait for them to get past me and then
tackle them from
ankle tap them.
No, I was famous for my coat hangers. They were so easy to get down as easy coat hangers.
Oh, you coat hang? I was ankle
I was coat
tapping.
hanger, and then it's weird. You get them, and then their body weight would just make them
Fall.
collapse.
Yeah.
Never had a problem defending
Uneven.
against them.
The big boys were uneven up there.
Oh, and if you got them around the legs,
They
oh
were big
man, no,
boys,
you'd bring them down, but it felt like a whole bunch of boulders fell on top of you.
Fuck, they're big.
The noise you'd make.
Is that because they're worried that their kids might get injured?
That's what it is. And so you got a lot of scaredy cats these days. So sorry, kids. A lot of cowards these days, man.
Cowards.
Yeah, man. You go watch them on the weekend, you think, geez. Like, I was
It's tough.
Man, we used to put our heads in like the wrong positions just to bring down kids.
But was it safe?
I don't know. I end up perfecting the technique after a few concussions.
But that's the thing. A few concussions at that age. It's not good.
Feeling the effects now, mate.
Yeah, CTE's kicking good.
It is, eh?
No, yeah. I don't know. Joey Johns reckons they should have what do you call it? Weight classes.
Like Zato, who's watching, I don't know where he's been the whole broadcast. Disappointed to you in you, Zato, but Zato reckons there's plenty of juniors, but not enough clubs investing in pathways. Yeah, but I think a lot of NRL clubs are jumping on. Look, I'll point out a stat. Elmo loves repeating this stat, but Canterbury Bankstown is the only region, I think, in Sydney or Australia where the juniors actually increased. Could be all those Lebo parents trying to live out their their life dreams, you know.
You know a few.
Their childhood, they sucked that footy or could.
You know a few.
Huh?
You know a few.
Of course I do, you know.
Name them.
Right. What about the dramas they have? It's like the wives of OC, you know? Far out.
Orange
I think
County
Zed runs
Housewives.
amok on them. Zed is one of those, but man, Zed is trying to live out his childhood.
I watched the junior footy. I watched a bit of it.
It's good watch.
There's some good players, man.
Oh, hands down.
There were some very good
absolute
players.
stars in that junior footy. I can point out some now will definitely make like the reps or lower grades.
Yeah.
You
There
can
was
easily
definitely a few.
You can pick him out straight
Hey,
away.
there was one half. He was unbelievable.
What age was this?
Under 10s, maybe?
Is that Finch's son? I've seen Finch's
Nah,
son.
the one
plays
before
pretty
that game. He was very good, actually.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Hey, Finch's son had a great game. But you know what? The team that they played, Greenacre, was it? Did they play
Tigers.
Greenacre? How good was their fullback?
Yeah, freak.
He was...
He'll play reps.
He had footwork.
Yeah, he'll play reps. Crazy.
That was... He's Kiwi, obviously.
Yeah, he'll
You
play.
can tell.
He was freak. Yeah.
Nah, junior footy's good to watch.
Anyways, previewing this week's games. There's only two.
Yeah, it's disappointing.
It is, I kind of like feel like I'm starved. How
Do
did
we have
you
any
guys feel?
international footy?
There is after the season finishes.
Okay.
What about last year? Remember when New Zealand, what they did to Australia?
Yeah, that was great.
Mel Meninga still kept his job.
I wonder why.
Anyways,
Who do we have?
so this week you got the Cowboys versus the
Cowboys.
Sharks at Allianz.
I'd
Funny.
I'd like to say Cows, but for some reason I reckon Cronulla win.
You reckon Cows just 1 week too many?
I think they're done, yeah.
I know. I reckon Cronulla just crumbles. I'm going to go the Cowboys.
You reckon?
Bloody hell. I thought Tamalalo played his best game in about 3-4 years. He's putting
Who
on
did he
hits.
put that head on?
Yeah, but there was a few others he hit and they
He's actually been
didn't
playing...
fall, but they went staggering sideways. It was his
Man,
first
I'd like Cowboys to win.
3-4 years. I think Tamalalo maybe.
I love Jace.
I think he's... How long has he played first grade now for? 12 seasons?
16. He'll be 31.
This
He's
year
my
or
age.
next year?
He's 1 year younger than me, maybe. 1 or 2 years.
I think he's 31 or 30. I think he's...
He's played 15 years, easy.
No, he hasn't. I think he debuted...
He's 31. He debuted at 16.
What? He debuted in 2010?
Yeah.
He's had 15 seasons.
That's
It's starting to show, though.
His knee, eh?
Yeah, regardless, like I think he just needs... That's it. I think he should just pull up the plug, if not...
But he's playing good footy now.
He is.
You know
He's picked
why?
it up. He needed that break.
Too many people expect him to play 80 minutes and run 400 metres.
Oh, that was freak. That was crazy.
I can't believe it. He's played 274 games.
That's huge.
But he used to play so many big games.
And make about 400 metres a game. That was
If it wasn't
phenomenal.
for him, it's hate to say it, but JT doesn't want to chip.
And they made another grand final without JT. With
Because of
Tamalolo
him.
running the show. Remember that with Tamari Martin at halfback?
Yeah,
That was
Morgan.
insane. Or Morgan at halfback, Martin at six.
Six.
Yeah, that was insane.
Hey, JT deserves every dollar for Cowboys.
Of course, he helped popularise that club.
I'd like to see them win.
So where do you think the Sharks will win it? In the forwards or in the backs?
I don't know. I feel like they're a little bit fresher. I feel like Cowboys have had to win too many games to get to where they're at. Too many tough games too.
I think the pressure's on Cronulla though. I don't think
the pressure's on them, but I think Cowboys might be just wrecked. Travelling again as well. It's not easy.
It's only a 3-hour flight.
It's a flight though.
Yeah, fair enough.
And they had to fly back.
Yeah, does take its effect.
It takes a toll flying.
Mm.
Even when we did it against when we.
So
used
you reckon
to come
Nico Hines' response?
If anyone, it'll be Cronulla's forward pack.
I reckon Tom Dearden has another stellar game.
Fuck, he's good.
Yeah, he's a freak, that guy, Tom Dearden. What a player, eh?
Great player.
So you got Drinkwater at the back. He's another great player. I think Tom Dearden. You know what? I don't know.
Be a good game.
Yeah.
You know what? This week, if I look at these 4 sides this weekend, Manly's the only side that I feel like could test Penrith or Melbourne.
Oh, I don't think any of them can. I think
they can't because of the week off. The week off's massive.
I still think we're getting a Melbourne Penrith grand final.
Yeah,
obviously, if Melbourne don't make the grand final, I'll just laugh at Zhead. So
yeah, no, they do make the grand final. Having a week off's massive. That's huge. You know when I was younger, I used to hate it.
Yeah, because you got nothing to do on the weekend.
Yeah, but I also used to be like, I don't need it because I'm not sore.
Yeah, but when you get
older,
far
out, it's handy.
Doesn't go away.
It's handy,
hands down.
And you can see why Bellamy never wants to be out of the top 4. If you know what I mean.
It's the business end of the season.
It's important for him.
It just feels like intensity goes up automatically.
Look what he's done. He gave everyone a week off.
Yeah.
Then he made everyone play the last game.
Yeah,
and then they played, and now he gets another week off.
Great timing. Even Cleary. Cleary was away for that last 3-4 weeks.
80% of the season, really.
It worked out perfect for Cleary. I just came back and didn't miss a beat. It was crazy.
Winning 4 in a row is scary.
It is. I think most people that have seen 4 in a row are in their 60s and 70s now.
What, Dragons?
Yeah, that 11. Well, the last side to do 4 in a row. But even then, for a side to make 5 in a row.
Did Parra do 3 in a row?
Parity 3 in a row. Good side.
What's that, 84, 86, 87 or whatever?
No, 81, 82, 83. And then Canterbury beat them in the 84.
And then they won 87?
No, they won 86.
86.
But Canterbury knocked them over in the 84 grand final. They could have done 4 in a row. And Canterbury, I think, got them... what was it? 6-4, guys? I think it was 6-4. Or 18-6, something like that. One of the old Canterbury fans on here will be able to...
4 in a row, scary. And then if...
But 5 in a row grand finals hasn't been done since... South 67 to 71.
If Melbourne win, they've shared the last 5 grand finals.
That's crazy, eh? It's only 3 sides.
The last 7's been 3 sides, yeah.
Then you got to go back who? Cronulla and Cowboys.
2017.
And then
16.
you go south, and you go back to Roosters, and you go back to Melbourne.
Who won 17?
Melbourne. Melbourne, yeah.
The last 8 years has been one of the 3 sides.
Yeah, crazy.
Dominated.
Absolutely dominated.
Wow.
It is.
It'll
fall apart. No empire lasts forever. So.
Outside of them 3, you only what do you get? Just Cowboys, Cronulla, and Rabbits, right? Then it went back to Roosters. Then it went back to Melbourne.
Yeah, you're right. If you want to go, how far back you want to go?
Well, 2011.
Because you know what's scary? You
from 12. 12 was Melbourne.
Yeah.
13 was
hang on
Roosters.
a sec. You go back Roosters. Oh, you go Souths, Roosters, Melbourne. Who won 2011?
Manly,
then St. George. And then, hang on a sec, Melbourne again, Manly, Melbourne, Brisbane. Wow. Fucking Melbourne. Sorry to swear. It's sickening, eh? You just want to see new sides.
Look, I want to see the... I'm not a massive Dogs fan.
I'm not sick of Melbourne. I mean, I'm not sick of Penrith. I actually want to see them go 4 in a row, 5 in a row, 6 in a row.
Nah,
But then they lost Luai and it just ruined everything. So.
But you know what? You know what I'd love? I'd love Dogs versus Parra.
Yeah, the blows.
Because I feel like it'll be the only time in my lifetime where I will get like...
Dogs versus Parra. It's happened before.
It's the only time in my lifetime in Sydney where I would get like EPL vibes. Where 2 teams just hate each other.
The last time that happened was 1986.
Far out.
And I think it's the only time... it's
was
twice
it big
it's happened.
Back then?
84 and 86 it happened.
Could you imagine it now?
But you know what?
Dogs covered what? 55,000.
Now, hang on a sec. It happened in 84 and 86. My dad followed St. George, but my dad reckons that 86 grand final and the 84 one was the biggest one that they experienced, like in the 70s.
They get over 100,000 people.
They could, yeah. I remember, and it held the initial record. They had a preliminary final at Stadium Australia.
Did they fight?
In 2009. No, listen to this. They had it in 2009. And remember that Jared Hayne played that amazing game. Even Tim Manor played out of his skin. And Daniel Mortimer, your old teammate.
Yeah.
Mortimer had a game that day.
Yeah, I remember.
Canterbury running hot in 2009.
Fooey, yeah.
And Parramatta came from 8th.
Far out.
And then at that preliminary final, they had over 70,000. And I think it eclipsed the previous record by about 20,000.
That was the Barbara Hayne show.
Yeah.
Was it Barbara Hayne that year?
I think so. Yeah, it was. It was phenomenal. It was. But 2009, that was the first preliminary final to break the 70,000 barrier. I think it held the record till the following year. St. George and Tigers got 75,000.
They get 100 now. Easy.
Of course.
If they get 100 now.
They would.
It's actually getting more enjoyable going to the games.
They would get 100,000 for a preliminary final.
Easy.
Not even the grand final.
Easy.
They really hate each other.
I'd love to see that.
My dad thinks thinks that'd be the biggest grand final. He reckons when they played off against each other in 84, 86, it was the most intense he's seen in rivalry.
In AFL terms, that would be what? Collingwood versus Carlton.
Yes, they are the biggest rivals. It's just that Carlton sucked for the last 2 decades.
Yeah.
But before that, they really hated each other. They still do.
Eels. That would be some serious fireworks.
Oh, yeah. I remember, I think a regular season game in the NRL hadn't sold out for a long time in Sydney, and this is 2001. And they were playing at the showground, which is where Greater Western Sydney Giants play.
Yeah.
And they sold out 22,000. It was the first sellout NRL had a regular season game in Sydney for a long time.
NRL needs the Dogs.
And Para.
Big time.
Big time, yeah. They do. Even the Tigers, they need the Tigers firing. They got a big junior base.
Far out.
They got a massive junior base.
Why do they struggle?
Because they've been dick riding Cronulla. I mean, not Cronulla. They've been dick riding the Roosters and South for so long because, they got their own executives on Channel 9 and on NRL and on Fox Sports. Come on, man, it's a given. And I'll stick by that every time. Come on, look at it. The Roosters and South's got their people involved in NRL, Fox Sports, and Channel 9. Of course they're going to dick ride them and promote them. Have you seen the promos that Fox Sports does when Souths play Roosters? And going back 20 years ago, nobody gave a fuck about those two sides. I'm being honest here. Before Roosters cracked that 2002 grand final, sorry to get passionate, but Souths were coming last nearly every year.
But you know what?
Nobody gave a fuck about the Roosters. Roosters couldn't draw 3,000 to a game.
Roosters still don't get a crowd.
They don't. It's all inflated. Give me Allianz Stadium
in Belmore,
and they sell it out every game.
Easily.
Give me Allianz Stadium at Cogrove, and I guarantee they'll double the Roosters crowd.
Easily.
Give me Allianz Stadium at Campbelltown, and they go close to selling it out.
I went to Roosters versus Para.
And then the Roosters fans have the audacity to point out, we're averaging 22K, obviously inflated by the Anzac Day match.
No, but
look at our crowds. If you got state-of-the-art facility like that, like CommBank,
great stadium.
You will fill it up. Build it, and they will come. It is one of the most famous sayings. In the USA, they build state-of-the-art stadiums, build it, and they come as they say. Here, you got Cogger Oval, you got Leichhardt Oval,
on the
you
side
got Brookvale Oval, the shittest ground.
Speaking about stadiums, did you see
horrible?
Did you see the UFC Sphere on the weekend? The Sphere?
Insane.
What the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Could you imagine watching a footy in the Sphere?
Oh, amazing. You know what? Las Vegas?
Sorry, I'm going to look out at old mate here.
But
that was ridiculous.
Yeah, what about Las Vegas? You know where the Raiders play?
Yeah.
Formerly the Oakland.
That was an pretty much on top of the
stadium.
Game. Yeah, I know. Sydney's...
Parramatta's now had 3 stadiums in about 30 years or something. And same thing with the Roosters of 40 years. It's about time they stop building for them.
It's not good enough, eh?
It's not. You can collect in all the other sides. Why are the same 2 sides getting new stadiums? About time they gave
Belmore need a good stadium. They deserve it.
If they really want to pull their socks up, the southwest corridor of Sydney, which is heading from Liverpool towards Campbelltown and Camden, is probably going to hold the biggest population in Sydney, the fastest growing. They're going to add another 1 million people there. Need a stadium that's going to fit about another CommBank there, another 30,000 seater.
Minimum. Even then, I don't think that's enough for finals.
If Landers had the vision where Cogra is, They could build a stadium there, 25,000 seater, and Cronulla St George and possibly Canterbury or
What does
South
Cogra
play
hold?
out of there.
What does Cogra hold?
20,000 if that. But level it, build a clone of CommBank Stadium there, and you have
CommBank's a
Cronulla
great
St George
stadium.
and South playing out of there.
CommBank's a great stadium. Sorry, guys. Dibbo's a bit fired up. He's not happy.
No, because I'm
Landis-
sick and tired of the same sides getting dick-rided by the NRL. That's why.
Which is weird because Dogs have a lot of money.
Yeah, but because they don't have people, at NRL, they're not from the eastern suburbs, the heavy hitters.
Not Gus.
Gus doesn't want to endear himself to those types. He couldn't give a shit to that bullshit.
I hate to say it. Do you reckon it's hey, was that
Gus tries his
But
best
you
for
know
the
what? Is this true? Can I bring something up? Do we have time?
Yeah, of course we do. Sorry.
I want to bring something up. And you got to tell me if this is true.
I want to see the other Sydney sides get a fair go. That's all I want.
I want to bring something up and I want to know if this is true.
Give them state-of-the-art stadiums. Give them the right promos. Give them the advertising like they afford Souths and the Roosters, for example. Have you seen the promos Fox Sports starts for?
Is this true?
Yeah, go on.
Dean Ritchie
What about that flog?
on NRL 360 explaining why Manly fans don't want to attend the game.
Guy's an absolute scumbag.
Look at what he said.
Yeah.
Other fans get intimidated going out to Bulldog games.
Have you seen his
Look at
drunken?
this, please.
Have you seen those drunken
Look at this.
dope
They are
weed heads from
boisterous
Brookvale?
fans. They are from different demographics.
How's that guy even a
Go
journo?
sit with them and see if you like it.
Guy's a racist scumbag.
Is that-
Have you seen the guy? No word of a lie.
That's
Sorry.
not legit.
Have you seen the guy? No word of a lie. He's about probably 5
But
foot.
you're saying it to Laurie Daly.
Yeah. Laurie Daly's Aboriginal. But have you seen the guy? No word of a lie. He's 5'2". He's pasty white, like a slug, and he wants to talk. And you look at him and you think, how does this guy even know about footy?
Go sit with them and see if you like it. But hey, Bulldogs fans, I'm telling you.
Give him a sassel.
That's far out, man. That's so bad.
You know what? I think Elmo came online. This is funny.
Is he?
I think Elmo's in the comments. Is anyone reading the comments?
Is that legit? They are boisterous fans. They are from different demographics. What does that even mean?
David Lau, glad to have you on board, mate. I don't follow Canterbury, if anyone knows, but I've been to quite a bit of Canterbury games.
Yeah,
if
we have
these
been to
idiots are
quite-
still comparing to the thugs that used to probably go to Canterbury games 20 plus years ago or 25 plus years ago,
Hey, I've
think
been to-
again,
I've been to
Canterbury are
more
one of the
Dogs
best fans, honestly, most fun fans.
Most passionate as well.
And very fun to watch game with. Like, absolutely love it. Love it.
Anyone that's passionate, I'm all for it.
100%.
I feel like that brings in the crowds.
100%.
If you're not, on the weekend, it was
The
deafening.
atmosphere was insane.
It was deafening.
I had Manly fans telling me it was absolutely insane.
No, it was
And and Manly fans were telling us, like, they were in the minority. They didn't really add to the atmosphere. It was thanks to the Canterbury fans.
Look, rugby league won't grow. I mean, it's growing on TV, but you get a few.
You need to bring back the tribalism.
Yeah, you have to.
Man, that Peter Vlandis, wow, he's over it all.
You reckon he's getting there?
Man, he wants tribalism. He wants state-of-the-art stadiums.
Yeah, the stadiums help.
Man, he's so ahead of his time. Like, he wants to bring
I
back
don't think that's
tribalism.
ahead of your time. How is
but
it though? We've been talking
it's-
about it for years.
It's just that the other idiots that were there before him had no
Who
vision.
was it?
They had no vision whatsoever.
Wouldn't you just copy like NBA or copy?
But he's got a simple
EPL?
game plan. Tribalism, CommBank stadiums, plonk one here, have 2 or 3 teams play out of it. One for the growing West Corridor. We'll give Penrith one. You're almost there. You've got to give something to Brookvale, and you're there.
A core needs to be gone.
Who?
A core.
No, it's there for
It
the
needs to
big
be
game.
flattened.
They were, but then everyone said, like, we only built it 20 years ago. Why are we spending another $1 billion? Like, I remember
They need
Gladys
to,
wanted
though.
it rebuilt, but
Look at the
everyone's...
MCG.
They rebuild that every 20 years, eh?
But look at it.
Phenomenal. The MCG, have you watched the game there?
Yeah.
What a watch.
I've watched a few games
It's
there.
made for the AFL.
I haven't missed I
I watched the
last
soccer
two
game
AFL
there,
grand
and I
finals.
thought I really loved it.
Soccer's amazing too.
Even though it's an oval, I absolutely love to watch soccer.
It's because you're sitting on top of the field.
It's mad.
Yeah, cricket would be great.
Oh, I've seen a cricket game
I haven't
there,
watched
and
the
that ball
cricket game.
goes up in the air. It's just like, wow. You're watching the trajectory? Sorry, guys. I know we're carrying on here, but,
We're just not happy. We're not happy with, what's his name, Dean Ritchie?
I'm just saying, I know the discussion's gone to giving the other sides a fair go, so...
Go sit with them and see if you like it. I
Yeah.
love that quote.
Absolute pig. So
He goes, other fans get intimidated. You Dogs fans, I feel for yous. I do
ridiculous,
feel
That scumbag, instead of getting another 10, 15,000 Manly fans to the game,
Hey,
scares them away.
I've been to some other games. Dogs fans are all right.
They're good to watch. Like, I've been to a lot of Parramatta games.
Elmo's probably punching himself in the head listening to me talking about Dean Ritchie.
Oh, he hates Dean Ritchie. We've good reason too. Everyone does.
Oh, now
how is that guy even a journo? Is it because nobody applied for the gig and he was literally one of the few pasties that did? So you got a free walk-in? Because have you heard his dribble that comes out of his mouth? I could go to someone that's never watched a game of footy and have a more educated response.
What a scumbag. What did Laurie Daly say to it?
What do you think Laurie Daly is? Did you even know Laurie Daly was Aboriginal for all these years?
I did because he... I didn't.
Yeah, well, he's not going to say anything. He's just going to sit there and conform. What else is he going to say? Sorry to get a bit passionate, but,
I hate that.
Laurie's just going to conform.
If someone said that in front of me, I'd lose it.
Bloody oath. Absolute scumbag. That's what he is. Any decent organisation would never employ people like that. Anyways, that probably wraps up this week. Anyways, I know I went off tangent, but I just Latitude Accountants.
Yeah.
Our sponsors,
John from
Latitude Accountants. So if you guys are watching,
taxpayers go after him.
He's really good for small business. He really knows. A lot of tradies go with him. Basically, if you want to do your personal tax returns, spreadsheets, a growing business as well. Any difficulties, he's the man to see. latitudeaccountants.com.au. We'll be putting it up for you. So I think it's on the screen there as well. If you guys forget who it is, feel free to send us a DM. You probably even run into me there, basically. So, yeah, looking forward to actually fronting up to John. A $4,500 hole is not a good one, I'll tell you now. Look forward to having you guys next week. Elmo, I don't think he might make next week's one in time. I think he might, though, come in live from New York and give us a bit of his experiences from there. So look forward to have you guys next week. And next week I'll probably give you an update. I think it's not next week, the week after, but the junior Bulldogs, the Jersey Fleet side, I think they are in the grand final. So they're our last hope. Hopefully those junior dogs bring us something to cheer for this year.
Where's the game? Balmore, did you say?
Oh, we'll put it up. I think the game's next week, so they got the week off this week. They won via drop goal, so fantastic young bunch. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in today, and we look forward to having you guys back next week. Adios.
See you guys.